The year is 929 AD. For centuries, the Abbasid Caliphate had presided over a vast empire stretching from Persia to North Africa. But its heart, Baghdad, was fading. Internal strife and political instability were taking their toll. Little did the world know, a new power was rising in Mesopotamia, the Buyids, zealous Shia Muslims who would reshape the landscape of the Islamic world and inadvertently pave the way for an unprecedented urban explosion. The Buyids weren't interested in rebuilding Baghdad as it once was. Their vision extended beyond the old Abbasid glory. They sought to establish a new center of power, one that reflected their own ambitions and Shia faith. This ambition led them eastward, toward the Tigris River and an area previously considered sparsely populated, a fertile crescent ripe for transformation. The groundwork for what would become Baghdad's successor was being laid, unknowingly ushering in an era of unparalleled urban growth. The new city, initially known as Mahmudiya in honor of Buyid ruler Muhammad ibn Zayd, was strategically located. The Tigris provided vital water resources and facilitated trade. Its position on key caravan routes ensured a steady flow of merchants and goods from across the Islamic world and beyond. While humble at first, the foundations were solid both literally, with carefully planned infrastructure, and figuratively, with the promise of prosperity that drew people from far and wide. The driving force behind Baghdad's resurgence wasn't solely political ambition. Economic factors played a crucial role. The Buyids fostered an environment conducive to trade and craftsmanship, attracting skilled artisans and merchants eager to capitalize on the burgeoning opportunities. This influx of talent fueled innovation in industries like textiles, ceramics, and metalworking, creating a vibrant marketplace that stimulated further population growth. A positive feedback loop began: prosperity beget migration, and migration beget even greater prosperity. The city rapidly evolved from Mahmudiya to Baghdad, a deliberate adoption of the historic name to capitalize on its reputation. This rebranding was symbolic, intended to evoke memories of past glory while signaling a new era of power and influence. The Buyids invested heavily in infrastructure. Canals were deepened, bridges constructed, and defensive walls reinforced. These improvements weren't merely functional, they served as visible demonstrations of the city's growing importance and the Buyids' commitment to its success. The population explosion was truly remarkable. Within a century, Baghdad surpassed all previous urban centers in size, reaching an estimated 500,000 to over 1 million inhabitants, dwarfing Constantinople and Chang'an. This unprecedented growth presented significant challenges, straining resources and infrastructure, but it also signaled the arrival of a new global superpower. The city became a magnet for migrants from across Persia, Mesopotamia, and beyond. Baghdad's intellectual life flourished as well. Scholars and scientists from across the Islamic world flocked to the city, drawn by its patronage and opportunities for research. The House of Wisdom, revived under Buyid rule, became a center for translation, learning, and innovation in fields like mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. This resurgence of intellectual activity cemented Baghdad's position as a leading cultural hub. The city's layout reflected a sophisticated urban planning philosophy. Wide avenues facilitated movement, while carefully designed districts catered to diverse communities. Merchants, artisans, religious scholars, and government officials all found their place within the sprawling metropolis. While overcrowding was certainly an issue, the initial design principles allowed for remarkable efficiency in managing such a large population. However, this rapid growth wasn't without its consequences. Sanitation became a major concern as waste disposal infrastructure struggled to keep pace with the burgeoning population. Disease outbreaks were frequent, impacting public health and occasionally hindering economic activity. The challenges of managing such a massive urban center exposed the limitations of even the most ambitious plans. Despite the challenges, Baghdad's rise was undeniable. It represented a pivotal moment in urban history, a testament to human ingenuity and ambition. The city's sheer scale fundamentally altered perceptions of what an urban center could be, influencing future generations of architects, planners, and rulers. While its dominance would eventually wane, the legacy of this monumental metropolis remains etched in the annals of time. The story of Baghdad is a testament to the rise and fall of empires, the enduring power of human innovation, and the fragility of cultural heritage. From its inception as a meticulously planned Abbasid capital to its current state of reconstruction, Baghdad's journey reflects a pivotal chapter in global history, a constant reminder that even the greatest cities are subject to the relentless currents of time. The reign of Sargon Dalyevhaz 7057–6 BCE marked a significant shift for Assyria. His previous capital, Dur-Sharrukin, proved strategically vulnerable and quickly abandoned after his death. Recognizing the need for a more defensible and centralized power base, Sargon embarked on an ambitious project, the construction of Khorsabad. This new city was designed not merely as a capital, but as a testament to Sargon's divine mandate and Assyria's military might. Its rapid construction demonstrated the immense organizational capabilities of the Assyrian state, mobilizing vast numbers of laborers and resources. Khorsabad's urban plan was revolutionary for its time. It adhered to a strict grid system with wide avenues radiating from the central palace complex. This geometric precision wasn't just aesthetic, it facilitated efficient troop movement and rapid response to potential threats. The city walls, over 15 kilometers in length, were reinforced with formidable towers, projecting Assyrian power outwards. Surrounding the city were agricultural lands and orchards, meticulously planned to feed a large urban population, a crucial aspect of imperial administration. The palace of Sargon VII within Khorsabad was a masterpiece of Assyrian architecture. Its monumental scale, adorned with intricate reliefs depicting royal hunts and military victories, served to intimidate both foreign rivals and domestic subjects. These reliefs weren't simply decorative, they were powerful propaganda tools, visually communicating the king's strength and divine favor. The palace itself contained numerous courtyards, audience halls, and private chambers, reflecting Sargon's opulent lifestyle. Beyond the palace and fortifications, Khorsabad boasted impressive infrastructure. A sophisticated water management system channeled fresh water into the city, while complex drainage networks prevented flooding. The city's artisans were renowned for their skill in metalworking, ceramics, and textiles, producing goods not only for local consumption but also for trade across the Assyrian Empire. These industries contributed significantly to Khorsabad's economic vitality. The religious heart of Khorsabad revolved around the temple dedicated to Ashur, the chief Assyrian deity. This massive structure was a focal point for royal rituals and public ceremonies, reinforcing the king's role as both ruler and high priest. Sargon VII actively promoted his own personal deity, Nabu, within the city's religious landscape, attempting to integrate it into the traditional pantheon, a move that would later contribute to tensions within Assyria. The population of Khorsabad was drawn from across the Assyrian Empire and beyond. Skilled laborers, craftsmen, soldiers, merchants all flocked to the new capital seeking opportunity and security. While the city flourished in its early years, the forced relocation of populations also generated resentment amongst conquered peoples. This social tension would ultimately contribute to the instability that plagued the later years of the Assyrian Empire. Despite its grandeur and strategic importance, the lifespan of Khorsabad proved tragically short. Just 7 years after its founding, Sargon VII met his demise during a campaign against the Cimmerians, a nomadic people raiding Assyria's northern borders. His death plunged the empire into a succession crisis, leaving Khorsabad vulnerable to attack. Following Sargon's death, his son Sennacherib abandoned Khorsabad. The city was systematically dismantled, its buildings were stripped of their valuable materials, and many reliefs were looted or repurposed elsewhere. This deliberate destruction signaled a rejection of Sargon's legacy and a shift in Assyrian imperial policy. The reasons behind this abandonment remain debated among historians. The abandonment of Khorsabad proved devastating for its inhabitants. Many were scattered across the Assyrian Empire, their lives disrupted and their skills lost. The city's rapid decline serves as a poignant reminder of the fragility of even the most powerful empires and the impermanence of human ambition. While physically abandoned, Khorsabad's legacy would endure in the annals of Mesopotamian history. Today, archaeologists continue to excavate Khorsabad, slowly piecing together the story of this lost Assyrian capital. The unearthed reliefs and architectural remains offer invaluable insights into Sargontai's reign and the complexities of Assyrian society. Though swallowed by the sands of time, Khorsabad stands as a testament to the ingenuity and ambition of one of history's most formidable empires, a fleeting glimpse of what was once the largest city on earth. The reign of Sennacherib, 705–681 BCE, marked a period of intense urban renewal in Assyria. While Ashurbanipal's focus was on consolidating power and expanding the library at Nineveh, Sennacherib prioritized infrastructure, specifically water management. He initiated massive projects to divert rivers, construct canals, and create artificial lakes, not just for irrigation but also to solve flooding issues that plagued the city. These engineering feats were crucial for supporting a rapidly growing population and demonstrating Assyrian power through technological prowess. The scale of these endeavors testifies to Sennacherib's ambition and his understanding of what was required to maintain Nineveh's dominance. Sennacherib's most ambitious project was the construction of an aqueduct, known as the Canal of Nineveh. This ingenious system channeled water from springs located miles away, bypassing the Tigris altogether. The canal ran for over 30 miles and utilized a sophisticated series of tunnels and channels, showcasing advanced understanding of hydraulics and engineering. The Canal of Nineveh provided fresh water to numerous palaces, gardens, and public fountains within the city walls, significantly enhancing the quality of life for its inhabitants, a luxury few other cities could offer at the time. The palace complexes within Nineveh became testaments to Assyrian power and artistic skill. Sennacherib ordered the creation of vast relief panels depicting his military campaigns, hunts, and religious ceremonies. These reliefs were not merely decorative, they served as propaganda, showcasing the king's divine right to rule and intimidating potential rivals. The sheer size and detail of these carvings demonstrate the resources available to Sennacherib and the highly skilled artisans under his employ. Each scene meticulously documented Assyrian military might, reinforcing the empire's image. Nineveh's sprawling gardens, known as bichirali, were another hallmark of Sennacherib's reign. These meticulously planned landscapes incorporated exotic plants and trees brought from across the Assyrian Empire and beyond. They offered respite from the urban density and provided a space for recreation and contemplation. The construction of these elaborate gardens required an immense amount of labor and water, highlighting both the king's opulence and his ability to control natural resources on a massive scale. The city's defenses were just as impressive. Massive walls, reinforced by towers and fortified gates, surrounded Nineveh, making it a formidable stronghold. These defenses weren't merely for protection against external threats, they also served to project Assyrian power and deter rebellion within the empire. The sheer scale of these fortifications, some sections reaching over 100 feet in height, underscores the importance of military preparedness in maintaining control over such a vast territory. The population of Nineveh reached an estimated 300,000 by the late 7th century BCE. This made it arguably the largest city in the world at the time, surpassing even Babylon and Memphis. While precise figures are difficult to ascertain, archaeological evidence suggests a densely populated urban core with sprawling suburbs extending outwards. Feeding such a large population required sophisticated agricultural practices and an efficient distribution network, key factors that contributed to Nineveh's continued growth. Nineveh's commercial activity was thriving. Evidence suggests that merchants from across the known world, including Egypt, Greece, and Anatolia, traded in its bustling marketplaces. Luxury goods like textiles, precious metals, and exotic animals flowed through the city, making it a vital hub for international commerce. This economic prosperity contributed significantly to Nineveh's overall wealth and influence. Religious life in Nineveh revolved around the worship of Assyrian deities, particularly Ashur, the chief god. Grand temples were erected within the city walls to honor these gods, where priests conducted elaborate rituals and ceremonies. The temple complexes served not only as places of worship, but also as centers of learning and administration, playing a vital role in maintaining social order and reinforcing religious beliefs. Despite its grandeur and prosperity, cracks began to appear in Nineveh's foundations. Sennacherib's ambitious building projects placed a significant strain on the empire's resources, leading to discontent among conquered populations. Furthermore, his brutal military campaigns generated resentment and fueled rebellions throughout Assyria's vast territories. These factors would ultimately contribute to the city's eventual downfall. The legacy of Nineveh extends far beyond its physical ruins. It stands as a testament to the ambition, engineering skill, and organizational capabilities of the Assyrians. The city's brief but brilliant reign shaped the course of Mesopotamian history and left an indelible mark on the world's urban landscape. While ultimately destroyed, the memory of Nineveh, the largest city on Earth for a time, continues to fascinate historians and archaeologists today. The Sasanian Empire, though known for its Zoroastrian faith and military prowess, also fostered a remarkable degree of urban development. Ctesiphon, the imperial capital, thrived as a vital hub for trade and administration. Its strategic location on the Tigris River facilitated access to Mesopotamia's rich agricultural lands and served as a critical link between Persia and the Roman world. The sheer scale of its construction reflects the immense resources controlled by the Sasanian Shahs, who sought to project an image of unparalleled power and sophistication through monumental architecture. The Taki Kisra, or Chak Sultan, was not merely an entrance, it served as a symbolic gateway to the royal palace complex. Its monumental size, over 50 meters high and 70 meters wide, aimed to impress visiting dignitaries and demonstrate the empire's dominion. Constructed primarily of mud brick faced with fired bricks, its imposing presence dominated the Ctesiphon skyline for centuries. While erosion and conflict have taken their toll, remnants of this colossal structure still stand as a testament to Sasanian engineering prowess. Beyond the Taki Kisra lay a sprawling urban landscape, the true extent of which remains largely unknown due to centuries of destruction and shifting river courses. Archaeological surveys suggest extensive residential districts, marketplaces, and workshops populated by diverse communities. These included not only Persians but also foreign merchants and artisans drawn by Ctesiphon's prosperity and strategic importance. The city's cosmopolitan nature contributed to its vibrant cultural exchange and economic dynamism. The Sasanian economy was heavily reliant on agriculture and trade. Ctesiphon's location facilitated the movement of goods from across Persia and beyond, including textiles, spices, precious metals, and agricultural produce. The city served as a crucial entrepot connecting eastern and western markets. Royal workshops in Ctesiphon produced luxury goods for the court and export, further enriching the empire's coffers and cementing its reputation for artistic excellence. Religious tolerance was a defining characteristic of the Sasanian Empire, although Zoroastrianism remained the state religion. While persecution of other faiths occurred periodically, particularly under more zealous rulers, Ctesiphon housed communities of Christians and Jews who contributed to the city's cultural diversity. The presence of these religious minorities fostered intellectual exchange and enriched the artistic landscape of the capital. The Sasanian military machine was renowned throughout the ancient world. Ctesiphon served as its operational and logistical hub, facilitating campaigns against the Roman Empire to the west and various nomadic groups to the east. The city's fortifications, though largely lost today, were designed to withstand prolonged sieges and protect the imperial treasury and administrative apparatus. The scale of construction projects undertaken in Ctesiphon demanded an incredibly organized and efficient bureaucracy. Skilled engineers, architects, and laborers were employed under the direct supervision of royal officials. Quarrying stone from distant regions, transporting materials along the Tigris River, and coordinating the efforts of thousands of workers required meticulous planning and a robust administrative structure. The decline of Ctesiphon began with repeated conflicts against the Byzantine and Arab empires. The city endured numerous sieges, each taking a toll on its infrastructure and population. In 633 AD, the Rashidun Caliphate under Umar ibn al-Khattab captured Ctesiphon, marking a pivotal moment in Islamic history and effectively ending Sassanian rule. Whilst Ctesiphon continued to exist under Islamic rule, it never regained its former prominence. The Abbasid Caliphate shifted the capital to Baghdad, diminishing Ctesiphon's political and economic significance. Over time, the Tigris River altered its course, further isolating the city from vital trade routes and contributing to its gradual decline and eventual abandonment. Today, the ruins of Ctesiphon stand as poignant reminders of a once mighty empire. Archaeological investigations continue to reveal new insights into Sasanian life and urban planning. Though largely buried beneath layers of sand and time, Ctesiphon's legacy endures, a testament to human ingenuity, ambition, and the ephemeral nature of even the most powerful civilizations. The echoes of its grandeur resonate across the centuries, inviting us to contemplate the rise and fall of empires. The reign of Hammurabi marked a turning point for Babylon. While the city had existed for centuries, it was under his rule that its ambition truly blossomed. He initiated vast building projects, not merely to beautify the capital, but to consolidate power and project Babylonian dominance across Mesopotamia. The construction of the massive double walls, an unprecedented defensive structure, served as both protection and a powerful visual statement: challenge us at your peril. This period saw a significant influx of resources and skilled laborers, fueling the growth that would soon eclipse all others. A key element in Hammurabi's strategy was controlling vital resources. The Euphrates River, while a source of life, also presented challenges. Extensive canal systems were engineered and maintained, diverting water for irrigation and enabling the city to feed its rapidly expanding population. These canals weren't simply about agriculture, they served as crucial arteries for trade, bringing in goods from across Mesopotamia and beyond. Managing this complex network required a sophisticated bureaucracy, an early example of centralized planning on a scale previously unseen. The Code of Hammurabi itself was more than just a legal document. Carved onto a massive diorite stele, it served as a public declaration of Babylonian law and order. The stele's very size and placement, in a prominent public square, were deliberate acts of propaganda. It reinforced Hammurabi's authority, demonstrated the civilization's advanced societal structure, and aimed to standardize practices across his vast empire. Though harsh by modern standards, it represented an attempt at establishing a framework for justice within a burgeoning urban environment. The Esagil temple complex, dedicated to Marduk, the city's patron deity, underwent significant expansion during Hammurabi's reign. It wasn't merely a religious center, it was also an economic powerhouse. Temple lands were cultivated and managed, generating substantial wealth that flowed back into Babylon's coffers. Priests held considerable influence, acting as advisors to the king and controlling vast resources, demonstrating the intertwined nature of religion, politics, and economics in Babylonian society. Archaeological evidence reveals a flourishing artisan class in Babylon. Specialized workshops produced exquisite pottery, intricate jewelry from precious metals, and sophisticated weaponry. The demand for these goods fueled trade and attracted skilled craftspeople from neighboring regions. This concentration of talent fostered innovation and contributed to the city's economic dynamism. The quality of Babylonian craftsmanship became renowned throughout Mesopotamia, further enhancing its prestige. The population of Babylon continued to swell. Estimates suggest it reached upwards of 200,000 by the mid-18th century BC, an astonishing figure for the time. Housing varied greatly, from modest mud, brick dwellings in densely populated neighborhoods to elaborate palaces and villas for the elite. Managing such a diverse population presented significant logistical challenges. Sanitation, food distribution, and security became increasingly complex issues that demanded innovative solutions. Trade routes converged on Babylon, transforming it into a melting pot of cultures. Merchants from Elam, Assyria, Anatolia, and beyond brought exotic goods, timber, metals, textiles, contributing to the city's wealth and diversity. This exposure to different customs and ideas undoubtedly influenced Babylonian art, religion, and technology. However, it also created tensions as differing values and beliefs sometimes clashed within the cosmopolitan environment. The military strength of Babylon was crucial to maintaining its dominance. Hammurabi created a standing army composed of both professional soldiers and conscripted levies from conquered territories. Chariots, recently introduced into the region, became an integral part of Babylonian warfare, granting them significant tactical advantages on the battlefield. This military prowess enabled Babylon to expand its influence and control vital trade routes. Despite its prosperity and power, Babylon faced constant threats. Neighboring kingdoms, Kassites, Elamites, Amorites, coveted its wealth and strategic location. Internal rebellions also occasionally erupted, challenging the king's authority. The sheer scale of the city itself made it vulnerable. Sustaining such a massive population required immense resources and careful management. Any disruption could have devastating consequences. The legacy of Hammurabi and his building program laid the foundation for Babylon's continued growth. He transformed it into not just a powerful kingdom, but also a symbol, a testament to human ingenuity and ambition. The city's unparalleled size, its impressive infrastructure, and its sophisticated governance established a precedent that would influence subsequent civilizations in Mesopotamia and beyond, solidifying Babylon's place as the largest city on earth for centuries. The reign of Hammurabi, though significant, was a consolidation rather than a radical transformation. His successors faced constant challenges, incursions from the Amorites in the north and Kassites to the east. While Babylon retained its prominence, the empire's borders fluctuated, reflecting the volatile political landscape of Mesopotamia. The meticulous record keeping established during Hammurabi's era, however, provided invaluable data for subsequent rulers, allowing them to understand the city's infrastructure, agricultural output, and population demographics, crucial tools in maintaining control over such a vast urban center. By the mid-2nd millennium BCE, the Kassite dynasty had firmly established itself in Babylon. They brought with them new religious practices and artistic influences from their homeland in modern-day Iran. While initially viewed with suspicion by some Babylonian elites, the Kassites gradually integrated into Mesopotamian society, adopting Akkadian as their official language and embracing aspects of Babylonian culture. This cultural syncretism profoundly shaped the city's identity, blending indigenous traditions with foreign innovations. The scale of Babylon's food production was astonishing. Extensive irrigation networks diverted water from the Euphrates and Tigris, transforming arid lands into fertile fields. Barley, wheat, dates, and vegetables formed the staples of the Babylonian diet. Specialized agricultural communities flourished outside the city walls, supplying Babylon with a constant stream of provisions. The complex logistics involved in distributing this food to over 200,000 inhabitants required sophisticated administration and well-maintained roadways. Beyond agriculture, Babylon's economy thrived on trade. Situated at the crossroads of major overland and river routes, it served as a vital hub for merchants from across Mesopotamia and beyond. Goods like textiles, timber, metals, and luxury items flowed through its gates, enriching the city's coffers. Babylonian traders established colonies in distant lands, expanding their commercial reach and solidifying Babylon's influence throughout the ancient Near East. The construction and maintenance of Babylon's massive infrastructure demanded a large workforce. While some labor was voluntary, much of it was compulsory corvée, unpaid labor owed to the state as part of tax obligations. Skilled artisans, engineers, and craftsmen were highly valued and formed guilds that regulated their trades. The sheer organizational effort required to manage such a complex system highlights the power and efficiency of the Babylonian bureaucracy. Religious life in Babylon was deeply ingrained in every aspect of daily existence. The city's temples, a sigilla dedicated to Marduk being the most prominent, were not merely places of worship, but also centers of economic and political power. Priests held considerable influence, advising rulers and managing vast estates. Elaborate rituals and festivals punctuated the calendar, reinforcing social cohesion and reaffirming the divine legitimacy of Babylonian rule. Despite its grandeur and prosperity, Babylon was not immune to internal strife. Power struggles between rival factions within the ruling elite were common. Rebellions by disgruntled populations occasionally erupted, fueled by economic hardship or perceived injustices. The constant threat of external invasion further destabilized the city, requiring a powerful military to defend its borders and maintain order. The Library of Esagila, while not a library in the modern sense, represented an unprecedented effort to preserve and transmit knowledge. Thousands of clay tablets containing legal codes, religious texts, scientific observations, and literary works were meticulously catalogued and stored within its walls. This dedication to scholarship ensured that Babylonian intellectual traditions would endure for centuries. The gradual decline of Babylon began in the 6th century BCE with the rise of the Neo-Assyrian Empire. Repeated invasions and conquests weakened the city's defenses and eroded its economic base. While periods of resurgence occurred, Babylon never fully regained its former glory. The once mighty metropolis slowly faded into obscurity, overshadowed by rising powers in the region. Today, the ruins of Babylon stand as a testament to human ingenuity and ambition. Though much of its grandeur has been lost to time, the legacy of this remarkable city endures, a potent reminder of an era when it reigned supreme as the largest urban center on Earth. Its contributions to law, mathematics, astronomy, and literature continue to shape our world, solidifying Babylon's place in history as one of humanity's most extraordinary achievements. By the mid-8th century CE, Caliph al-Mahdi's ambitious construction projects had profoundly reshaped Baghdad. The expansion of the Round City was pushing its boundaries outwards, demanding new infrastructure and defensive measures. This period witnessed a surge in residential areas, bustling markets, and specialized workshops catering to the burgeoning population. While the original circular plan remained vital for ceremonial processions and administrative functions, the organic growth of the city demonstrated the dynamism of Abbasid society, an empire embracing innovation while rooted in its Persian heritage. The canals that crisscrossed Baghdad weren't merely for irrigation, they formed an intricate network for transportation. Barges laden with goods, grain from Mesopotamia, textiles from Persia, spices from the east navigated these waterways, connecting the city to its vast hinterland and beyond. The Tigris River itself served as a vital artery, linking Baghdad to the Mediterranean via the Euphrates and providing access to maritime trade routes that brought wealth and influence into the heart of the Abbasid Caliphate. The House of Wisdom, Beit al-Hikmah, stood as the intellectual heart of Baghdad. More than just a library, it was an academy where scholars from across the known world, Persians, Indians, Greeks, Arabs, collaborated on translating and preserving ancient texts. This fusion of knowledge propelled advancements in mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy, laying the groundwork for future scientific revolutions that would impact generations to come. The Abbasid dinar, a gold coin standardized across the caliphate, facilitated trade and economic stability. Its consistent weight and purity fostered trust among merchants, enabling long-distance commerce to flourish. The dinar's influence extended far beyond Baghdad's walls, becoming a globally recognized symbol of Islamic power and prosperity during its golden age. Life within Baghdad's diverse neighborhoods was stratified. While the elite resided in lavish palaces and villas, the majority of the population lived in densely packed housing, often constructed from mud brick. This stark contrast reflected the social hierarchy of Abbasid society, a complex interplay of power, wealth, and privilege alongside the daily struggles of ordinary citizens. The Barmakid family, viziers under al-Mansur and al-Mahdi, played a crucial role in Baghdad's development. Their patronage of the arts, sciences, and infrastructure significantly shaped the city's character. However, their immense power also made them vulnerable to political intrigue, ultimately leading to their downfall and exile under Caliph Harun al-Rashid. The Grand Bazaar, or Souk Kabir, was the beating heart of Baghdad's commercial life. Here merchants from across Asia, Africa, and Europe converged to trade in a dazzling array of goods, silks, spices, perfumes, precious stones, and exotic animals. The bazaar wasn't merely a marketplace, it was a vibrant hub of cultural exchange and social interaction. Beyond its monumental architecture and intellectual pursuits, Baghdad fostered a thriving artistic culture. Miniature painting flourished, capturing scenes from literature, history, and daily life. Calligraphy became an art form in itself, adorning mosques, palaces, and manuscripts with elegant script that celebrated the beauty of Arabic language. The construction and maintenance of Baghdad demanded an enormous workforce, skilled artisans, laborers, engineers, and administrators. This complex system relied on a combination of free labor, enslaved people, and paid workers, highlighting the inherent inequalities that underpinned even the most impressive achievements of the Abbasid Caliphate. As the 8th century drew to a close, Baghdad stood as a testament to human ambition and ingenuity. Its unprecedented size, its intellectual vibrancy, and its cosmopolitan character made it the undisputed center of the world, a beacon of civilization radiating influence across continents. But beneath the veneer of prosperity lay simmering tensions that would eventually challenge the city's dominance. By the late 9th century, Uruk's population had likely stabilized around 300,000 inhabitants. While urban centers elsewhere in Mesopotamia fluctuated with conflict and environmental shifts, Uruk maintained its dominance. This stability fostered unprecedented growth. In specialized crafts, lapis lazuli carving flourished alongside intricate metalwork and advanced textile production. The sheer scale of demand required a complex logistical network to supply raw materials from across the region, Anatolia for copper, the Persian Gulf for timber, and even as far as modern-day Afghanistan for turquoise. Uruk was not just a city, it was an economic engine driving a vast trade empire. The temple complexes were not merely religious centers, they served as crucial administrative hubs. Priests and scribes managed vast agricultural estates surrounding the city, meticulously recording harvests, allocating resources, and maintaining detailed inventories of goods. Clay tablets found in Uruk reveal an astonishing level of bureaucratic organization, from tracking grain distribution to managing the workforce constructing monumental architecture. This centralized control, while efficient, also concentrated considerable power within a small priestly elite, creating social hierarchies that would shape Mesopotamian society for centuries. The construction of Uruk's massive walls, initially earthen and later brick-faced, was an ongoing project spanning generations. These formidable defenses protected a population facing constant threats from raiding tribes and rival city-states. The double wall described by Herodotus, though likely exaggerated, speaks to the profound importance placed on security. Guard towers punctuated the ramparts, providing vantage points for watchmen to scan the horizon. The walls weren't just barriers, they symbolized Uruk's power and its determination to maintain control over its surrounding territory. While Uruk's prosperity attracted skilled artisans and merchants, it also drew in large numbers of laborers, many likely conscripted to work on public projects. Archaeological evidence suggests a significant disparity in living conditions. While the elite resided in comfortable homes within the city walls, the majority of Uruk's population lived in crowded, less desirable areas outside the central districts. This stark contrast fueled social tensions and may have contributed to occasional unrest, although written records are scarce on such matters. The Epic of Gilgamesh, composed centuries later, but drawing on earlier oral traditions, provides a glimpse into the cultural values of Uruk. The hero's quest for immortality and his interactions with deities reflect the anxieties and aspirations of Mesopotamian society. While fictionalized, the epic reinforces the importance of kingship, divine authority, and the enduring human desire to transcend mortality, themes deeply rooted in the beliefs of Uruk's inhabitants. The Ishtar Gate, constructed much later during Neo-Babylonian times, provides a visual echo of Uruk's earlier grandeur. While not original to the Uruk period, It demonstrates the enduring legacy and symbolic importance of the city. The gate's vibrant blue glazed bricks adorned with depictions of lions, dragons, and bulls were intended to impress visitors and project an image of power and divine favor. It serves as a poignant reminder that Uruk's fame persisted through millennia. The decline of Uruk's dominance was gradual rather than abrupt. Around 2500 BC, a period of instability marked by climate change, resource depletion, and increased competition from rival states began to erode its power. While the city never vanished completely, it lost its position as the undisputed leader of Mesopotamia. The centralized administrative system that had fueled Uruk's success proved inflexible in adapting to changing circumstances. The Akkadian Empire's conquests did not destroy Uruk but significantly diminished its autonomy. Subsequent rulers often viewed Uruk's independent spirit as a potential threat, leading to periods of subjugation and economic hardship. The once unrivaled canal network began to silt up, disrupting trade routes and diminishing agricultural productivity. This gradual decline highlights the vulnerability even of the most powerful civilizations to environmental challenges and geopolitical shifts. Despite its eventual decline, Uruk's legacy resonates throughout Mesopotamian history. Its innovations in urban planning, administration, and writing laid the foundation for subsequent civilizations. The concept of a large, centralized city-state, a model so successfully realized in Uruk, became a template for urban development across the ancient Near East. Even as empires rose and fell, the memory of Uruk as the first great metropolis endured. Today, the ruins of Uruk at Warka offer tantalizing glimpses into this remarkable past. Excavations continue to uncover new insights into the lives of its inhabitants and the complexities of their society. While much remains shrouded in mystery, one thing is certain. Uruk's pioneering achievements, building the largest city on Earth, forever changed the course of human history. It serves as a testament to the ingenuity and ambition that drove early civilization. The reign of Sargon saw a shift in Assyrian policy towards urbanization. While previous kings had favored existing cities, Sargon actively sought to create a new capital, a monument to his own power and the glory of Ashur-dir. Shahrukhin, meaning fortress of Sargon, was meticulously planned on virgin land north of the Tigris River. Its construction involved an unprecedented mobilization of labor, skilled artisans, engineers, and countless conscripted workers, a testament to Assyria's vast resources and Sargon's autocratic rule. This deliberate creation marked a significant departure from traditional urban development. Shahrukhin's layout was rigidly geometrical, a reflection of Assyrian military precision. Wide avenues intersected at right angles, radiating outwards from the royal palace complex. The city walls, massive and imposing, were punctuated by monumental gates depicting Sargon's victories in battle, symbolic representations of his authority, intended to intimidate both allies and enemies. This systematic design contrasts sharply with the organic growth patterns seen in earlier Mesopotamian cities like Ur or Babylon. It was a deliberate statement. Shahrukhin was not merely a city, but a carefully crafted instrument of power. The palace at Shahrukhin was a marvel of Assyrian architecture. Its colossal scale, intricate reliefs depicting royal hunts and military campaigns, and lavish use of precious materials, lapis lazuli, gold, silver, were intended to overwhelm visitors and demonstrate the king's absolute dominion. Each chamber served a specific purpose: audience halls for receiving dignitaries, private apartments for the royal family, and vast storehouses for the city's provisioning. It was designed not just as a residence, but as a theatrical stage for Sargon's rule. The construction of Shahrukhin demanded an enormous logistical effort. Quarries across Assyria were exploited to supply vast quantities of stone, while timber was imported from Lebanon. The transportation network relied on rivers and well-maintained roads, a testament to the advanced engineering capabilities of the Assyrian state. Evidence suggests that specialized teams oversaw every aspect of production, ensuring quality control and adherence to Sargon's exacting standards. This centralized management demonstrated the empire's capacity for large-scale projects. Despite its grandeur, Shah Rukhan's reign was tragically short. Only 7 years after its completion, Sargon met his death in battle against the Cimmerians and Maids at the Battle of Tabal. His son Sennacherib inherited the throne and quickly abandoned Shah Rukhan, deeming it unlucky and strategically vulnerable. The city's abandonment remains a historical enigma, prompting speculation about underlying political or religious factors influencing Sennacherib's decision. Sennacherib chose Nineveh as his new capital, undertaking an even more ambitious building program there. While Shah Rukhan lay abandoned, it did not fall into complete ruin. Local populations gradually settled within its walls, and the city continued to function as a regional center, albeit diminished in importance. The remnants of Sargon's grand vision remained, silently testifying to his ambition and the fleeting nature of power. Archaeological excavations at Shah Rukhan have unearthed a wealth of information about Assyrian society. Thousands of clay tablets, administrative records, legal documents, literary texts offer invaluable insights into the daily lives of its inhabitants. These discoveries reveal a highly stratified society with a complex bureaucracy and a sophisticated system of governance. They are tangible links to the people who lived, worked, and died within Sargon's fortress city. The discovery of numerous artisans' workshops within Shah Rukhan highlights the city's role as a major production center. Evidence of metalworking, pottery making, and textile weaving suggests a thriving economy catering to both the royal court and the wider Assyrian Empire. These workshops often contained specialized tools and equipment, demonstrating a high level of craftsmanship and technical expertise. The scale of these operations was truly impressive. The abandonment of Shah Rukhan ultimately contributed to its preservation. Covered by centuries of sediment and debris, the city's structures remained remarkably intact until their rediscovery in the 20th century. Today, ongoing excavations continue to reveal new details about Sargon's ambitious project, offering a unique window into Assyrian imperial power and urban planning. The site serves as a powerful reminder of the rise and fall of empires. Shah Rukhan stands as a poignant symbol of Assyrian ambition. Though short-lived as a capital, its construction represented a radical departure from previous urban models and demonstrated the empire's remarkable organizational capabilities. The city remains an unparalleled testament to Sargon's vision, a fortress designed to project power and secure his legacy. While Nineveh ultimately eclipsed it in grandeur, Shah Rukhan endures as a fascinating chapter in the history of Mesopotamia's largest cities. The decline of the Abbasid Caliphate in the 13th century directly impacted Baghdad's prosperity. Mongol raids, particularly Hulagu Khan's devastating sack of 1258, crippled its infrastructure and economy. The Ilkhanate rulers who followed offered some patronage, but never restored Baghdad to its former glory. Trade routes shifted eastward, diminishing Baghdad's role as a central hub. While the city remained inhabited, its population dwindled significantly from its peak in the 13th century. Estimates suggest it fell to around 200 Zalozan, a shadow of its magnificent past. The Timurid Empire, under Tamerlane, briefly revived some cultural activity in Baghdad during the late 14th century. He commissioned architectural projects and brought scholars to the city, attempting a partial restoration of its intellectual prominence. However, this resurgence was short-lived. Internal conflicts within the Timurid dynasty further destabilized the region, leading to renewed periods of hardship for Baghdad's inhabitants. The city became a pawn in regional power struggles, experiencing fluctuating fortunes dictated by conquering empires. The Ottoman conquest of Baghdad in 1534 marked the beginning of a new era. While initially bringing some stability, Ottoman rule also introduced heavy taxation and periodic uprisings. The city's strategic importance as a border town meant it was frequently targeted during conflicts with the Safavid Empire of Persia. Despite attempts at reconstruction and beautification by successive sultans, Baghdad never regained its former status as the undisputed center of learning and commerce in the Islamic world. The Safavid dynasty's temporary control over Baghdad in the early 17th century brought a period of Persian cultural influence. Shia Islam became more prominent, impacting the city's religious landscape. However, this era was marked by intense conflict and instability as the Ottomans sought to reclaim their dominion. This constant back and forth resulted in further destruction and hindered any long-term recovery for Baghdad's infrastructure and economy. In the 18th and 19th centuries, Baghdad experienced a slow decline, falling under the influence of various local dynasties and tribal leaders. The once grand irrigation systems gradually deteriorated, impacting agricultural productivity, while trade continued along the Tigris River. It was reduced compared to its peak. European travelers documented a city diminished in size and splendor, a stark contrast to the descriptions from centuries prior. The arrival of British influence in Mesopotamia during World War I fundamentally altered Baghdad's destiny. The Ottoman Empire's defeat led to a period of direct rule under the League of Nations mandate, administered by Great Britain. While infrastructure improvements were undertaken, these were largely geared towards strategic and economic interests aligned with British colonial policy rather than solely focused on restoring Baghdadi heritage. The discovery of oil in Iraq dramatically transformed Baghdad's potential. The influx of wealth brought about modernization and urban expansion, but also presented new challenges for preserving the city's historical character. Modern development often encroached upon ancient sites, leading to a tragic loss of irreplaceable archaeological evidence. Balancing progress with preservation proved to be an ongoing struggle. The 20th and 21st centuries have witnessed periods of intense conflict, including the Iran-Iraq War and the more recent Iraq War. These conflicts have inflicted immense damage upon Baghdad's infrastructure and cultural heritage. Looting and destruction targeted museums, libraries, and historical monuments, representing a devastating loss for Iraqi history and the world's shared cultural legacy. Today, Baghdad stands as a resilient city, slowly rebuilding and striving to reclaim its identity. Efforts are underway to preserve what remains of its remarkable past. Through archaeological excavations, restoration projects, and the establishment of cultural institutions, the memory of its former glory serves as an inspiration for future generations committed to safeguarding Iraq's rich history.